Lost Valley is a 1971 film directed by James Clavell, an historical drama set during the 30 Years' War. A mercenary soldier and a teacher, each fleeing the religious war in southern Germany, accidentally find the valley, untouched by the war, and they live in peace. Based upon the novel The Lost Valley, by J.B.Pick, the cinematic version of The Lost Valley, directed by James Clavell, was the final feature film photographed with the Todd-AO 70mm widescreen process. Plot: the captain leads a band of mercenaries who fight for the highest bidder regardless of religion. His soldiers pillage the countryside, and rape and loot when not fighting. Vogel is a former teacher trying to survive the slaughter of civilians occurring throughout south-central Germany. Vogel runs from the captain's forces, but eventually stumbles upon an idyllic mountain vale, untouched by war and still living in the age before the war. The captain and his small band are not far behind. Trapped in the valley, Vogel convinces the captain to preserve it and the village it shelters for their own benefit, as the outside world faces famine and devastation. Live, Vogel tells the captain, while the army dies. The captain decides that his men will indeed rest here for the winter. He forces the locals to submit, especially the headman, Gruber. The local Catholic priest is livid that the mercenaries include a number of Protestants, but there is little he can do to sway the captain. The mercenaries are of one mind after the captain kills a dissenting member of his band, and religious and ethnic divisions are set aside. At first, the locals accept the fate. Vogel is appointed judge by Gruber to settle disputes between villages and soldiers. As long as food, shelter, and a small number of women are provided, the mercenaries leave the locals alone. Hansen attempts to rape a girl and, exiled from the group, manages to lead a rival mercenary band to the valley, before the winter sets in and closes the valley to all outsiders. He and his band are destroyed and the valley goes into hibernation. But as winter fades, it becomes obvious that the soldiers will have to leave. The captain learns of a major military campaign in the Upper Rhineland and decides to leave the valley in order to participate. Vogel wants to accompany him, fearing Gruber will have him killed once the captain leaves. However, the captain orders Vogel to stay as the condition of not sacking the village, leaving a few men as guards. After the captain departs, his woman from the village, Erica, is caught engaging in devil-worshipping witchcraft. The priest orders her tortured and burned at the stake. Enraged and realizing the evil that has destroyed so much in this war and the role he played in it, one of the captain's men sacrifices his life to kill the fanatic priest by pushing him into the fire. Meanwhile, the captain and his men engage in a major siege operation. Most of his men are killed. The captain survives long enough to return to the valley, only to find himself faced by the villagers. Vogel intervenes so that no fight happens. The captain reports the event and dies of his battle wounds, declaring to Vogel, "You were right. I was wrong." A young woman from the village wants to live with Vogel, but he tells her to stay, and runs off alone in the mist. Satisfied at having saved the valley. Cast: Michael Caine as the captain, Omar Sharif as Vogel, Florinda Balkan as Erica, Nigel Davenport as Gruber, Per Oscarsson as Father Sebastian, Arthur O'Connell as Hoffman, Madeline Hind as Inga, Yorgo Voyages as Pirelli, Miguel Alejandro as Julio, Christian Roberts as Andreas, Brian Blessed as Korski, Ian Hogg as Graf, Michael Gothard as Hansen, George Innes as Vornes. Production: the film was mostly shot in Tyrol, Austria. Actor Martin Miller collapsed and died on the set before shooting of the first scene commenced. Reception: the film was an expensive failure. It earned rentals of $380,000 in North America and $900,000 in other countries, recording an overall loss of $7,185,000. With its setting in the 30 Years' War, it covered a period never previously depicted on film. In this light, George MacDonald Fraser wrote in 1988, "The plot left me bewildered. In fact, the whole bloody business is probably an excellent microcosm of the 30 Years' War, with no clear picture of what is happening and half the cast ending up dead to no purpose. To that extent, it must be rated a successful film." As a drama, The Last Valley is not remarkable as a reminder of what happened in Central Europe, 1618–48, and shaped the future of Germany. It reads an interesting lesson. Fraser says of the stars, Michael Caine gives one of his best performances as the hard-bitten mercenary captain, nicely complemented by Omar Sharif as the personification of reason. DVD. The Last Valley was released on DVD by MGM Home Video May 25, 2004.